The overarching theme for today is scamming in Singapore. Yeah, you can make a living being a scammer in Singapore.
Stop it, we have government clients.
It's true. Okay. Let's go through the. We have three cases we want to talk about, right? So the first case is.
Yeah, so the first case is the ComfortDelGro one, where this teenager found a loophole in the app and he actually managed to get away with booking like $2,600 worth of taxi rides for no money at all.
For his crime, he could have been jailed up to 10 years and fined up to 50,000, right? But he was a teen, so he was sentenced to 1 year of reformative training. I don't know whether that means he's locked in there and he cannot go out, or he has to clock in, clock out every day.
I mean, I don't know what that means also. I gotta say it was quite willful lah, because it actually is quite a manual process to have cheated the app. Like basically I think he booked a ride using his debit card, and then I think while en route or something he would have to drain that account of all funds.
Yeah.
So he actually started out by like purchasing stuff so that there will be $0 in his account, and then after he realized, hey, a simpler way is to just transfer out the money, and it works all the way. So I think maybe the punishment was quite harsh, but it's also because it was like he had to do it many times. You know, it's not like he did it once. It's like each time you have to willfully transfer money out of his account.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing, basically. It was not like, like I did a few times, I did like 117 times. And he even went as far as to sell like cab rides online and in like Telegram groups or something. So he will tell people, like for example, the trip is usually about $15. So he will sell it for like $10, and then he will book the ride for the person and collect the $10 from the person, and he will keep that for himself. So basically it is fraud lah. So he did break laws. I think one law. So that's why he's being sentenced lah. But he's a teen lah. So thankfully, if he's 18, then he probably might even be in prison.
If you're wondering how they found out, I mean, I have to say the bank's quite alert lah. It was a bank that actually let ComfortDelGro know. I think because like there's this person who's always putting money in and taking it out, so it was a bit suspicious. So I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
He quite smart I mean, he's a teenager. Okay, so when I read this, I was like, yeah lah, he's so smart but so stupid at the same time. Right? He's so smart that he found this loophole, and he's so smart that he understands the economics of scaling, and he actually sees an opportunity to make money and scale with it lah. But he's not smart or not wise enough to realize that he's actually breaking a law and the consequence is high. But if you look at if this is something that happened to my kid, right, I would think that yes, there's a lot of education I need to do, but I also think that wow, my kid has like an entrepreneur fire in him, and that's because it's as long as you don't break a law, if he found this out and he doesn't break the law and he basically uses it, like that's what businesses are about. That's how you make money basically, right? When you find opportunities and openings and gaps. That doesn't mean he didn't do anything wrong, but I'm saying that he needs to be placed in the right direction, but it's not all bad lah. That's my point of view.
Wow, actually, Andy, you're really very liberal, I realize.
No lah.
Like, he is very entrepreneurial to have gone on to have tried to sell these rides. And it's true, I agree with you. This is how businesses are run. Basically, you find a product and then you sell it for more expensive.
Yep.
Right, but then he also, I don't know lah, and then there's a little note which I didn't mention, which is that he had re-offended while on probation for other offences, including theft.
Oh, like he stole stuff Oh,
Yeah,
like
I
he has
think
other. Oh, okay. That's beside. Okay, I didn't know that lah. That's besides the point. Okay. Honestly speaking, I'm from a neighborhood school, and in my neighborhood school, there are kids that are like very guai, then like they're academically they're doing well and everything. But honestly, right now, if I look around me, right, the very successful friends or schoolmates that I have, right, are all the very naughty and mischievous kids, like all the bad results and like teacher cannot tahan, but really have a lot of ideas and very very creative, know how to look for loopholes and stuff. And those are the people that are really making, and they are great human beings as well. It's not like they are like evil or anything. It's just that their brain works in different ways. I'm very worried in our society that we clamp that down. We want to be an innovative and digital and forward-thinking country, right? Then I think we need to also give children like that like an opportunity. Yeah.
Second case of fraud. So we've talked about this as well in a previous episode, the Trace Together tokens, and you can hear our views on it. We're not going to go into it. Like both of us have our views on the privacy issue of it. it, but you can see that in a previous episode. But today we're going to talk about fraud. And so some Singaporeans allegedly modified the Trace Together tokens, very creative. So some removed the battery and others even swapped the QR code with that of another device. So they have been really highly criticized. Like, some people called them thick-headed, and it's not only, it actually puts other Singaporeans at risk, which is why, like, the people who are very upset about it are very upset about it. But it's also, did you know it's also a crime? Any deliberate or mischievous act to tamper with the token is a criminal offense under the Computer Misuse Act.
Okay, the offense carries a jail term of up to 2 years or a fine. The mischief disrupt a public health service can be charged to mischief causing disruption to a key service, which carries a jail term up to 10 years or a fine. Basically, they are saying that you can be put into prison for 10 years for trying to hack or alter or disrupt your token.
I firstly would say that it's obvious that people are very unhappy about the token. There is a thread on Hardware Zone talking about how to modify the tokens. Apparently people talking about changing QR codes, even how to block the Bluetooth signal to prevent it from working as intended. Many of these people appear to be against the use of the tokens. I think I feel like it is almost like an outcry and a reaction because the government said we didn't have to collect the Trace Together tokens and now we kind of have to, right? I don't know. I mean, I feel like, yeah, the punishment of a jail term of up to 2 years and a fine of up to $5,000 is quite harsh.
I don't know whether they are actually really going to enforce it, but the law itself, the sentence is quite harsh. Before I say my view, there is also a survey done by YouGov, and it actually shows that almost half of Singaporeans actually are unhappy and don't want to carry the token. Only 53% are okay with the token. So it's really very dividing. First of all, I would say, and I accept it like we've talked before, I don't like it, I don't want it, but at this point of time, I do understand it and I accept it. Also, like they are saying that if we can do this well, this is like the carrot and the stick, right? So the carrot is if we do this well, phase 3 will come earlier if 70% of people take it. But I do think that it's a bit hard-handed, right? Because it's sort of compulsory. If you want to do certain things, then you have to carry this. And I think the number of people that are unhappy are increasing. And I feel that this is what happens when you are heavy-handed, right? People, you in a family, right? If the father is like, no, cannot do this, must do this, you will be like, you have no choice, or you get beaten, or you just keep quiet and you try and find ways around it. And when people find ways around it and then you are heavy-handed again, then people will be even more upset and then they will try and find more ways to try and get around it. So it becomes a vicious cycle. So I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe more explanation, maybe more communications, not just communication by saying that, or like brainwashing communication, saying good, everybody like it, we have to do this, but tell us why it's necessary, give us some deadlines, give us some reassurance, talk to us like adults. I feel that would be a lot more helpful than just being so heavy-handed all the time. Even the news headline says Trace Together token allegedly modified by thick-headed Singaporeans. So why must you talk like that, because I'm sure people that don't want to do it are thinking about what can I do, should I do it or not? They're weighing the option also. So words like that are not helpful, if you ask me.
I think the thick-headed, just to put it in context, right, was actually by one Mr. Leong Ho Nam, who is an infectious disease specialist. So he says, so this was his words. He said those who tamper with the token are irresponsible and put others at risk. I think I want to get views okay, but what do you think of the punishment? Do you think it's okay? Or you think it's too heavy-handed?
We are known for very harsh laws, one of the harshest laws in the world. And to me, I'm actually okay with that to a certain degree, because if you're dealing with people that are criminals, but when you're dealing with everyone, your whole nation, right? Then why you need to be so heavy-handed? Don't you trust us? Don't you want to talk to us? Don't you? I feel there is a lack of a certain maturity that can exist, and it shouldn't be that difficult. I think so. This is how you earn trust, not by I say one, you do one, but by more communications and more information and more reassuring. I think that would be a lot more helpful.
Okay, so that's our second case of fraud.
Yes.
And our final case of fraud, actually it's not a bit makes me a bit worried lah, okay. But so basically it's our Bao. I think they wanted to run an experiment because we've been trying to move towards cashless payments. They decided to show hawkers old screenshots as proof of cashless payment, like basically fraud lah, like they didn't actually make the payments but they just show the screenshots and they mostly got away with it. Like I think only 2 out of the 6 hawkers that they tried it on thought something was amiss and they actually made it into a video. Yeah, so the hawkers, they are busy, right? Honestly, they're really busy, and one of them said that many of his customers are long-time customers, and he said even if they really didn't pay, take it as I'm giving them a treat, which is very sweet lah. And then one of the other hawkers was very I would say very pragmatic. He just said we have to continue along this path because of technological advancements. There is no choice. And some of them are struggling also because the apps are in English, and firstly they're unfamiliar, and then secondly it's in a language that isn't their first language for the hawkers, right? So I think that's a bit worrying lah. Please don't cheat our hawkers. We're not telling you this, like we're not sharing this information so that you cheat our hawkers, but more like just to talk about it. And a bit sad lah, people are trying to scam hawkers. What's your thought on it?
To be fair, there's no evidence that people are trying to scam hawkers. I believe that we are better than that. Are there going to be cases of people trying to scam? Yes, there is lah. But are they going to be significant? I don't think so.
Do you think that we have a Robin Hood mentality? Like it's okay to scam ComfortDelGro and Grab.
Big companies can.
Can I just say I left my bag, and it's this handbag, right, with my wallet and everything in it in Starbucks just 2 days ago. Someone actually DM me, like tried to find me on Instagram, DM me, and actually found Terrence, Terrence who's like privatized his account and everything, but then he managed to find him and DM him also and said, I'm scared Jade won't see her DMs because she gets a lot. Can you please let her know that her bag is at Starbucks?
I personally had that kind of experience quite a few times in Singapore as well, and I think that Singaporeans are good-hearted people, especially hawkers lah. Why would you do that? And then even hawkers, I often see people maybe the hawkers gave too much change and everything, and they say, hey, too much, I give back and everything. So I think there is I think Singaporeans are honest, and I think that every system is going to have loopholes, even before this whole cashless thing, there are going to be loopholes, but are you going to take advantage of that or not? That's a character thing, and I don't think Singaporeans are generally going to do that. So I feel like there's no evidence lah, so that's my thing.
It just feels like, okay, because just these few cases, the overarching theme is yes, scamming in Singapore, but the other overarching theme to me, like a sub theme, is they all have to do with technological advancements, like to do with the apps and cashless payments. Is it that we as a country are not ready for such things?
I feel that no one is ever going to be ready, because you're trying to make a change, right? And you're not trying to make a big change, right? So and it's difficult, but to me I feel it's very necessary, and on this part I'm actually very on the side of our government that we should be pushing cashless very as aggressively as possible. Of course, there are going to be difficulties, especially at the most grassroots levels, like with hawkers and everything, where the language is a barrier, when digital familiarity is an issue as well. But we will find ways to get through that. Like in China, they even the push cart seller, sometimes maybe even they don't even have a license to sell on the street, but they have cashless payment, right? So it has been done, and it is possible. And Singapore we can do it. I have no question. Honestly, in Taiwan now, I can actually see that a lot of places are very not cashless as well. So in many areas, they are very advanced digitally, but in cashless payment, they are very behind as well. And I see, and me just transiting from Singapore here, I'll be like, must use cash, I really feel why like that? And this is just at a very low level, but as the higher level, right, all this digital payment system and everything, right, it's gonna help you with your transaction online, bigger transaction, B2B transactions, and company to company. When you do deals and stuff like that, it's all gonna make a difference. And to me, this aggressive push is good, and we should all try and support it lah. That's my point of view.
I feel like for some reason Singaporeans have a lot of resistance to change. Sometimes I feel so. I don't feel like we're not ready. I agree with you that we definitely have to move towards this. And this is just part of the teething process lah. For example, ComfortDelGro has to clean up their app and stuff like that, to prevent all these kind of loopholes. But I think we definitely have to move towards it. Number two, I do feel sorry for the old folks, right? Because some of them may not be as educated, right? Number one. Number two, like I remember when my late grandmother was around, right? She's not literate, so it's even harder. You like she will learn how to do things just by like patterns, but when you can't read, it's very difficult. And then even more reading about the hawkers, I'm thinking, what about those where English is not their first language? So I think it will take time. Like, you know, I got my parents, I had to try to teach them. I know, it's a bit painful lah. I tried to teach my parents how to use Zoom because my mom, like, you know, Zooms with her siblings now. And yeah, but it's quite funny because they will have the funniest angles and then, you know, like
Yeah.
quite cute lah, you know, but I think we have to like just be a bit more patient and try to teach our older folks like how to use technology.
That's actually like I think that's actually like the biggest sign of whether you are a filial like son or daughter or not. You know, it's not giving money. Giving money is easy. If you can sit down and teach your parents or your grandparents tech, computer apps, handphones, 哇，你真的很孝顺啊！我真是I admire you.
My grand aunt is in her 70s, right? And she's on Instagram and she does post semi-regularly and I think she has fun with it. So, you know, I think that if you can, yeah, I agree with you. It's one way to show filial piety lah, to teach your older.
Yeah lah, and use the what do you call that? Skills. What does the government give money on? Skills Future credits.
Yes.
To take your app class, and they do have it in community center. I know.
My friend's mom actually is taking a social media course, like how to use social media. So there are such courses. That's our plug. Skills Future credits. Come contact us. We can work together with you. Okay, with that, we're gonna say bye. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think if you have thoughts still about Trace Together, if you have thoughts about this guy cheating ComfortDelGro of money, and if you have thoughts about the hawkers learning to use cashless payments, whatever, drop us a line below. Let us know what you think. That's all from us. Bye!